Welcome, everyone, to the very first episode of Torque Talk. We're here at West Coast Dream Machines in West Vancouver with David, who's also the general manager,
Yep.
and Leah of Leah's Automotive. You have a shop in North Vancouver, specialized in sports cars, European sports cars, and luxury cars.
Yep. Fixing them up every day.
Fixing them up every day, dressed up to the night. There we go. Perfect. So we have talked about doing a little bit of a podcast or video blog, whatever you call this, for a long, long time. And finally, we're doing it. And thank you, David, that we
And
helped
welcome everyone to West Coast Dream Machines. We're very proud of the showroom that we have here. And I think we're one of the only people in Western Canada that has anything like this going on. So everybody's welcome to come down and take a look at all these cars individual. And you can see that we got a couple special Maseratis parked right behind us.
Yeah, and you can actually buy it. They're all for sale.
Everything is for sale.
Everything is for sale. Always is for sale. Okay, the Maseratis.
We got two exclusive Maseratis on display here today. One being extremely rare, which is the Ghibli SSS. And I don't know how familiar everyone was with the Ghibli, but in the late 60s, Giugiaro designed this car, and they called it Ghibli, and it was a 4.7-liter V8, front engine, manual transmission, rear-wheel drive car. And they built a total of 1,200 units. The Ghibli came out with an S, which is a 4.9-liter, and that put out 330 horsepower. And then there's a young playboy out of Paris whose family was investors in Maserati distribution, and he wanted to get a special car. And he pressured the distribution agent to build him this particular car that's sitting behind us, and it's called an SSS. So we're just one of one. So an extremely rare car.
So is it now a 5-liter?
It's 4.9-liter, but it puts out 380 horsepower.
That was big back then.
Yeah. So the story of him is when he picked up this car from the factory, he drove it through Nice and he got pulled over and arrested driving 150 miles an hour in 1971.
Crazy.
But he lived quite the life. We have documentation showing IOUs where he would borrow cash from Maserati factory for his weekends in Italy.
Has this car been restored, or is it already?
Yeah, it was restored in Paris at one time, and then Coachworks over in the island just went through the whole drivetrain. The whole drivetrain is brand new.
So when you buy the car, does it come with the IOUs?
Yeah, all the documentation. Yeah. So it's like it's the most significant car I've ever driven.
They built such beautiful cars back in the day, and even today, but Maserati is not really seen as the luxury car these days.
Like the fabulous sports car we have here, the MC20. You know, that car is a 600 horsepower rear-wheel drive car, amazing performance. But they only built 1,200 of the units, and they're not as popular as maybe they should be.
Why is that?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's anybody's question, but you've got a 600 horsepower sports car, carbon fiber body, and it's basically a Ferrari SF90 motor.
Yeah, you know what's funny about that is because the SF90 is a hybrid. So it has that little bit more extra power.
Yeah.
That same similar engine
Yeah.
anyways. So you would think for those non-hybrid lovers, the people who want a collector's car, this would be a hot topic car. I mean, it is a hot topic car, but
You work on Ferraris, obviously.
work on Ferrari.
Have you ever worked on one of those, or
Well,
any?
Actually, I haven't seen one besides the one here and in Vancouver.
Crazy, right?
It's really a sign of Maserati. You know, Maserati sales have really struggled. You know, I think in 2025, they built, I wrote down here, they built 26,000 units. They sold 26,000 units in North America in 2023, and sales then dropped 33%. And so then in 2024, they were down to 11,000 and 33%, as they say, in 2025.
Wow.
So it's a struggle to see them selling, 10,000 cars this year.
It's so interesting to see
Complete.
two Italian brands
Yeah.
that have so much in a way in common. They started back in 1914. I think next year, 2026, is the anniversary, the 100th anniversary for the Trident, for the logo, right? It's the first time in 1926 then that they used it. So they have all of this history. They won 2 world championships with Stirling Moss and Fangio.
Yeah.
Built beautiful cars, used Giugiaro, Pininfarina, all the great designers. And yet Ferrari is really high up. And no one is talking about Maserati.
Well, it's interesting. Last year, Ferrari sold more cars than Maserati for the first time.
For the first time.
Well, in our generation.
You know, it's very interesting.
I was looking at some specs on this one. Obviously, couldn't find it on the SSS. But what I thought was really interesting, how hot this car was back in the 60s. And they're still using leaf spring in the back of this thing when Ferrari was already doing independent suspension, which technically for independent suspension's been way better on cornering, handling all that stuff. And this thing is just so low to the ground. And they kept the leaves in there to keep on that low, sleek look, which
It drives very well, even by today's standards.
Have you driven this?
When you compare that to a Ferrari Daytona.
Have you driven this very?
Yeah,
Oh.
I drove it over on the island up the Malahat. And it drives very well. Big front engine, big powerful V8 engine up front. As I say, when I drove out in the Malahat, you're driving in the freeway, and it's the most significant car I ever driven, and I've driven a lot of cars. But the story of the owner in Paris who demanded that he build that car. And the unique feature is the triple tailpipes on the back of that.
Yeah.
So, and even the badging on the car, when you think that they made that badging and it's just one of one. That's
cool.
special.
But I know you or West Coast Dream Machines, you have another one of those, not the SSS, but in Ghibli at Coachworks in Victoria.
Under full restoration, you even see another one there.
Oh, there, yeah.
Yeah, Ghibli 4.7 liter.
So how is the collector's market? I mean, if you have a full restoration, which is some real money that gets invested, so how is the collector's market for them?
It's tough. It's gone down in the last few years. And I've contacted Maserati Classique in Italy looking for their support with the brand, and they weren't as familiar with that car as what they should have been to me. Where Ferrari really supports all their investors and all the collectors, people who buy those special cars is really supported by the Ferrari factory, and that's really another thing that can hurt the brand.
I think that is one thing that we talked about it before. Porsche or Mercedes with their classic centers. I think there's more knowledge there.
I noticed that with Mercedes. We have a Pagoda here, 230 SL, and Mercedes Classique centers on that, which are rebuilding old cars, turning them into almost better than brand new cars. So, amazing machines, and that's really driving the collector component of the hobby there.
Would you actually work on a car if someone brought that one in, or?
Depends on the client. Depends on the client. I mean, I think I'll work on something if I'm passionate about it.
Right.
If I like it, because I mean, these are a labor of love.
Yeah.
Working on anything old like that, you have to love what you're doing. Because I mean, there's no specs, there's no repair instructions, no book that says like, hey, torque this to this. You have to really love what you're doing to do it. But I mean, yeah, like I would do something like that. It's a really cool car. And like a lot of the technology in these older European cars are still used today. So, which is really cool. They're ahead of their time.
Yeah. Wait. What?
Well, not.
A lot of the technology of that car is in a modern car.
Well, I mean, some things, right? I mean, you still see a lot of the suspension stuff. They use like the solid piece units and not a lot of welds too. Even like the new well, I know we'll talk about it later, but like the new Bugattis and that are using single cast moldings for like control arms and subframes, and a lot of these old cars actually do have a single mold casting as well, which is really cool.
Considering the small numbers, it's amazing they built such quality cars.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Like you're only building a couple hundred cars a year.
What's one of these go for?
A car is probably worth 250 to 300,000 Canadian.
Canadian?
Yeah, but it should be, if all things think, a $450,000 car.
Yeah.
Because what's a SF90?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hybrid, but with SF90, almost $1 million.
Would love to see more of those cars, I think. But with those numbers that you mentioned and everything, the question is, how long will they be around then?
Well, maybe they will, start just,
I hope,
with only 1,200 around being in the world. You never know. Maybe the popularity will catch on.
To be honest, that for me, I rather would have or would like to drive one of those because it's rare.
Yeah.
Ferraris here in Vancouver, I mean, you see them all the time. Whereas this one, you're maybe the only one here driving one.
Which I think is the exact opposite of what they meant to do. That was meant to be more of a civilized daily driver.
No doubt.
Get away with and not as ostentatious. Although the yellow is a little screaming, but
well, we will see. I think they started electrification of their cars a couple of years ago. They promised, I believe, by 2030, as most of them did, to go full electric, which I don't think is going to happen now, because I mean the demand is not there.
We talked about F1 and see how that's
Yeah.
seems to be the way. F1 is doing that just to sort of keep up with electric, because everybody's going for hybrids.
So let's meet again in 10 years from now, and then we can see where this went.
This is the man who put $1 million on black, and it came up red. This is the man who married a sex kitten, just as she turned into a cat. This is the man who moved into gold, just as the clever money moved out. This is the man who drives a Maserati.
Stop, you vicious bastard!
Okay, we're back, and I thought we'd do a little session, top or flop. So I prepared a couple of pictures of upcoming cars or concept cars, and well, you guys just give an opinion. So we start with a Bentley EXP15 Vision concept.
I think everything just looks so techy now. Everything looks so modern. It's insane for me to see and think that that's going to be what the world looks like in 5 years even, which is wild. I still am having a hard time with full electric cars. I really am. I don't like the sound. I don't like that there's no emotion. I want to hear it. I want to feel it. I want to smell a car, in the sense of like, I got into an old car the other day, something even like this, and it was running so rich. My eyes were burning, and it was like that tear almost rolls down your face, and you don't know if it's because it's like it's so rich or you're just so happy from the smells, and I think we're losing that. Whether it's the Bentley EXP or all the new stuff, they're cool. I like concepts. I don't think they're going to last. That's my personal
I think these vision concepts are really about stretching your boundaries of what you see. And 'cause as you say, you're not used to it. And so this, goes overboard of what they're actually trying to achieve, the new styling statements.
So Bentley said about this one, it gives a first view into the new design language they want to come up with. And actually, about this one, they said it's inspired by the 1930s Speed 6, which I don't see it.
And we can assume the EXP15 is better than the 14 or the 13.
Just wait for the 16.
Like to you, what's the styling cues of a Bentley? To me, it's always been the front grille and the headlights, right? Yeah.
agreed.
And you notice the quarter haunches on the back, the wheel wells on the back. That's Bentley to me. That's
Next one.
Flop. I say flop.
I say flop. Yeah.
The BMW i3 Neue Klasse.
I love that pronunciation.
Neue Klasse.
Don't try to get me to say that.
That's the name of a nightclub in Berlin. It's near Neue Klasse.
Well, in their defense, back in the 70s, it was really called Neue Klasse, which this one kind of resembles, right? So they took some styling ideas and then clues from the old one, and I mean, we see the concept car, but also the...
Well, if we go back to the original i3, I was around when they built that originally. And that was sort of the first carbon fiber chassis that they built, and that was a car that was really ahead of its time. We went to Munich and they had a carbon fiber chassis, which they bought a company in Austria that built those too. And you could pick up the whole chassis of the car with one hand.
Cool.
And that. So it was really an innovative car that was really never loved or appreciated and had its issues.
I think that was the first one too to do a 0 to 60 faster than an M3.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like the first real electric car to the North American market. I think that took off. That we saw a lot of here, anyways. And it's still cool. You still see them kicking around.
But you see the depreciation they've taken, and they consider it, the maintenance. I don't know if you get any in your shop, but
We do a few. Parts are a little bit more challenging to get. But again, it's a labor of love. I think it's kind of cool. I'm contradicting myself on the electric stuff because I said I don't really like it. I think I like it for what it is though on an i3. It's kind of like it appeases that certain market. It's got the recycled interior paper. Like it kind of has that. It's cooler than Prius. It's cooler than Prius.
That's the high bar.
That's high bar.
What is below the Prius?
Corolla. Corolla is below the Prius.
Yeah, you see. Yeah. It's looks a lot closer to a sedan rather than an SUV.
Yeah, so that is a sedan. I think it's a new group of cars that they introduced on the Neue Klasse, and that is the sedan. I like it.
I would think it'd be nice to see more sedans than SUVs. I think we're all getting tired of following around SUVs that all look the same.
Anyways, top what?
I mean,
Yeah, I went time.
yeah.
Okay, the next one is the Bugatti Chiron.
No.
So there's a top here, right?
I really like it. I really like it. I really like that Bugatti kept their original classic, sleek interior designs with limited functions and buttons. When you got into a lot of these,
The craftsmanship of the buttons and
yeah.
the levers and all the tactile items in the car are spectacular.
It's incredible. You still,
And is it going to be the last V16 that the world ever sees? So.
It is their first hybrid, I think, right? That they put out.
Ever since Maserati took over Bugatti, right, and brings the electrification down in it,
Yeah.
I think it is.
So I had an opportunity to drive the 918 Spider, the Porsche 918 Spider, and I was skeptical at first, and then I got to get it going.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where your whole life kind of changed, because I'll take it back to when I was a little kid, and when I first loved cars, and that first moment I can remember like it was yesterday. It was a Chevy rolling down with that carbureted engine that's, hardly running, and then it's just going, and I'm like, oh, like that's so cool. And then you get in, and that power, that torque that takes you, and I was like, that's so cool. And there's been a few cars along the way in my career that have done that same feeling for me, but there really hasn't been anything life-changing like that moment of that old school Chevy, and that 918 did that for me. And I think it's that hybrid, it's that smoothness of the transition of the hybrid engine meeting the gas-powered engine, and the way they just simultaneously went together. It hugs the ground, the aerodynamics just push you, and it's like it's ready for liftoff. I can only imagine what that would feel like on the Bugatti. I would die to be in the Bugatti. It's that, yeah.
It hits all the senses, and I think every switch in that you look at is like a work of art. Like we come out to watch more than anything else. How can anyone say that's a flop?
Okay, and the next one is the Ferrari F80.
I was upset. When I first learned about this, because V6. And when you think Ferrari, you don't think V6, you think V12, where's the rest of the motor?
You just told me you like the Maserati behind you with the V6.
Yeah, it's a better buy per
value.
Yeah, it's value. But I just don't think Ferrari when I see that. I love the design. I love the power. I mean, that thing's incredible. It's a 2-second car, I think.
One's a 200.
And the Bugatti is a 2-second car. As I'm sure the top speeds, obviously, Bugatti's known for their top speeds.
So as inspiring as what I would hope.
It looks like a shark.
But none of their later cars have been later versions of cars have been that inspiring. But it's more function.
The design.
But doesn't it look like its function has become more important than styling? Like the old Ferrari, he didn't even believe in aerodynamics, because Ferrari used to build motors and say, anyone who can't build a motor, it's more about the motor than it is the aerodynamics of the car. Aerodynamics was for somebody who couldn't build a good motor. I think it was his quote.
I love that.
Or this has now gone the other way. Now this is sort of function has taken over, and function is never going to be as beautiful as styling. It's going to cut
I
corners.
always say whatever it is Italian, like it's beautiful. Yeah. Architecture, fashion, of course.
I think it has a presence. I think it looks really cool. I really like the what's the new one that's supposed to replace the Testarossa? Is it, they call it a new Testarossa? Yeah. That wide butt like that?
Well, they came out with the new Daytona. The new Daytona is one of the prettiest cars.
Yeah, the new Daytona is
That is beautiful. That's a beautiful.
So it's very hard to say top or flop for me because I totally get what you guys say about engine technology, all of that. From a styling perspective, for me, it's a flop.
But that's just the visuals. It'll be, again, Ferrari will be an unbelievable collectible car.
I think if I had the money, I wouldn't buy that car. So I can't call it a flop. It's a beautiful Ferrari. I can't call it a flop, but
So 3.9 million. The Giulio was 4.2.
and go Bugatti. Or go Bugatti, sure, yeah.
I'd go Bugatti too. Yeah.
Okay, let's bring you guys back to something cool. It's the, how do you pronounce it? Hyundai?
Oh, yes.
Let's go Hyundai N Vision 74, which they announced they will do.
This looks like a modern Group 4 car.
So cool.
Insane performance.
800 horses.
It's like it was basically a decently styled car that they've slapped on some aero on the outside of the car.
Don't you get a little bit of a DeLorean vibe?
Totally.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. I've always, the first time I learned about hydrogen cars, I was in school way back when, and I was always like, this makes so much sense. Hydrogen makes sense. But it never, I think the world should have gone hydrogen over electric. I'm sure there
We had a lot of 7 Series in Vancouver that we drove, and that's when
that was in 2000.
Gordon Campbell and Arnold Schwarzenegger were going to build the hydrogen highway. And the I-5 was going to have hydrogen systems down the whole way. And the exhaust was water.
Yeah, I think there must be some monopoly behind it that they don't want it to take off because it is too good for the environment. There is too much power out of it. So I think it's really cool that they're doing.
Perfect.
They're doing
So we hear
top, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a top.
Which I never would have thought I'd say about a Hyundai ever. So
top.
real top.
Next one. Oh boy.
Oh, this is controversial.
So the new Jaguar GT. So it started with that Type 00 concept car, very colorful. And so what Jaguar said, it is the design language. The next one or the first one will be called the GP, and it will be Ford. So that is why we see the rendering is a four-door on top. The more picture, that is the...
This is going to be a very significant car in the automotive world. And I think all the manufacturers are going to follow this because this is a high-tech detoxification of automotive styling. You're getting away from the Cadillac big screens and everything like that. And everything about their design languages now is going to be tactile, feel, and look, rather than high-tech. And so they're turning a corner, and I think they're really pushing the boundaries that other manufacturers are going to either follow or go away from.
And I think they had to do something really radical. They had a couple of beautiful cars. The F-Type, the Roadster, the Coupe, beautiful looking car. Yeah. But they were in the same position like these guys. They were not selling anything. Whatever they tried, sales were down. So the only way to do it is to do something totally... The marketing was brilliant. Even people that are not interested in cars were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. It's, I think the guts that it took for them to do it is our suicide pact that it took to do it. Is
Well, they say in 26, next year, we will see this car. And personally, top, low.
I go back to my BMW days when they came out with the BMW iDrive and the pushback from the Chris Bangle design that how can one button do 300 functions? This will never last on that. But he pushed that boundary, and now every single car has multi-function buttons on that. Where this, now we're finally getting away from high-tech and going to a new direction. So I think I got to give them credit for having the guts to do this.
I agree.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that because my original thought was like it's too much new, and there's like from a mechanic's perspective, working on these things with too many new features, you can't get parts, you can't. There's no tech support behind it. There's it's going to be a challenge to get these types of unique style vehicles.
If you go back to that Bentley that they showed, you probably know what the interior of that Bentley looks like before we even see the car, right?
Yeah.
And you can just imagine what it's going to look like, and all the buttons and the dash and the one piece, and the screen's going to go all the way across. This, finally, we got somebody who's going to go in a different direction.
So, okay, it's top for me.
Surprisingly, I say top as well.
I don't think it's serviceable.
Okay.
The Lamborghini
Temerario.
Ferrari.
Temerario. And maybe we just move your hand when you're doing it. It'll be okay.
So this will be the last Lamborghini V10. Is that what this is supposed to be? This is a tribute to that.
It replaces the Huracan. It has a twin-turbo 4-liter V8 with 3 electric motors.
I believe that's the first hybrid to
At least in production.
like besides the SUVs and all that, like that's the first hybrid Huracan style vehicle from Lamborghini. Again, I was opposed to the hybrids and that at first, but after driving them, I see it. I feel it. I like it. I really like it. I think it's reasonably priced. I
So
think
take 10-cylinder motors, turn them into turbocharged 8s, and we take 8-cylinder motors and turn them into turbocharged 6s. The 6-cylinder motors, we turn them into turbocharged thing. This is modern. We're moving ahead. Yeah.
it's cool.
So you said reasonably priced. A Canadian around $450-ish, right?
Styling's been done. Yeah.
And the hot V's, I mean, it's still keeping that hot V design on the engine. I like it. It's still classic enough that with the new technology in it, I really like that car.
Visually, clearly a Lamborghini. So
Too much so. Yeah.
Too much the same.
I said too much the same. The car visually here looks the same. And if we're just dropping down to an 8-cylinder turbo, I don't sense.
which makes it for you a
Flop.
No, I think it's the top. I like the classic design with the new technology.
I like it. So
And classic engine too.
Yeah.
Twin turbo V8, classic motor. Fixable.
it will find its mark.
Comfortable.
It already has a market view. There you go.
Yeah.
For that reason. Very last car is a concept car, Mercedes. They call it the Vision Iconic EV. Looks like Bruce Wayne's car. It's a Batmobile. Love it.
Mercedes goes full Gotham.
It's cool. It's really cool. I think for a full EV, that's the sleek, that's the cool design, that's the car I really like.
Unique feature on that car, I don't know if you read about it, they call it the floating Zeppelin. And that's the dash pod itself. The analog, the gauges, and they float. And then even as you're here to float in the middle of the dash, they're not affixed to anything.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Top if it comes.
Top.
Send it Mercedes listening. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Let's have a little break.
Sounds good.
The new 500S. Tested for bad boys.
And we're back, and I thought it would be interesting to briefly talk about Chinese EVs, because it seems they're taking over the market. They have the fastest car now on the planet. They have the fastest one around the Nürburgring. They have the most luxurious. What's happening?
I hate to admit it, but it is happening. It's happening. We don't want it. Yeah, I know.
It's happened. We just don't
denial.
see that.
I read that this year they're going to build over 10 million electric cars in China. 10 million cars.
Yeah. I always say to everybody, and it's like, I say, drive an electric car because you like technology. Drive it because you think it's cool. That's okay. But don't drive it thinking that you're saving the environment. That's my point on it. I'm okay if you want.
I agree with that
Yeah.
too. You know, well, all the very like my aspects of the hybrid, and I think those cars are a lot more disposable. You know, like these cars here are environmentally friendly. You know, cars are built back in the '60s.
You think you're gonna see a Chinese electric car from 60 years later? I don't think so.
But out of those 10 million electric Chinese cars that are being built this year, if you go down the road 8 years, how many of them do you think will be on the road?
Right.
You know, what is it, 10% or, you know, these are not cars that what I would say would be collectible type cars. I think it might open up a new aspect of the hobby. You know, some young kids are going to buy a small electric car and learn how to hop it up and do their own hot rodding with electric and technology. So,
I mean, just go back a couple of years, it was all about if Tesla wouldn't have started their electric cars, with all the manufacturers worldwide, they had to follow because they were so successful with that all right? Now we're going back more to like the hybrid ideas, most of us would.
It is.
It is, right?
I think so. In North America, anyways.
a lot of manufacturers are too scared to know. They don't know whether they go at electric, hybrid, gas, diesel, whatever, you know.
But back to those Chinese cars. So I was just recently in Dubai, and I was driving and taking pictures of the same car. Because I've never seen those cars. I've never heard of the brand. So I took pictures, and then I Googled it at the hotel. And some of them, like the Yangwang, look really, really cool.
What was the name of it?
Was that actually the brand?
Was the Yangwang?
The Yangwang. No.
You pronounce the European one so perfectly.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I butchered the Chinese one. I don't know. I mean, like the one that is on the screen is the Huawei. What Huawei? No.
Huawei? Huawei?
Okay.
I'm
Maextro
probably saying it right.
S800. So this car is way more luxurious than even a Rolls Royce or a Maybach.
It's very cool.
And
It looks like a Maybach.
It is ridiculous. So
It ticks all those boxes. It just don't really have a soul yet, you know. They just don't have that brand. It's the same reason why we were opposed to a Cadillac. Is the same reason why I might be opposed to a Wang Yang. And
so what do you guys think will happen?
I don't think it's going to bring a tear to my eye when I drive it. Just going to say that.
yeah, we're driving at the Yang. Yeah. 1 of 10 million made. Well,
1 of 10 million.
So we might see that because Carney is apparently considering lowering the tariff for electric cars from China. Or maybe
but that's more of a daily transportation car. It's not really in the car hobby yet.
so you think if
Saying it's not a car, Dave? Not a car.
Transportation, odd. Yeah.
people that buy a Maybach, you don't think they might go for the
I think it's Huawei. No, Huawei. Yeah.
Maestro?
Yeah. The Maestro.
Maestro.
If that price is right, maybe. I mean, but the thing is, again, I go back to that non-fixable machine. Like, are we going to be able to, if they built that many cars of that many different brands, types, this model, that model, am I going to be able to get parts for this?
So I think they're just a disposable car. You know, it's like your fridge at home. No one's fixing your fridge at home now. It's just, well, move it on. Get around into a lease model, maybe. Yeah. You just stay with the brand.
But again, that's back to my thing. Drive it because you think it's cool. Don't drive it because you think you're saving the environment. Is it a cool car? Yeah. I think that looks cool.
You took the subsidies away. How many electric, the success of Tesla, if you took all the subsidies away, would Tesla even be around today? Very true.
Yeah. California may be a different story, but are Californians and Americans buying Chinese vehicles? I don't think so.
Anyways, okay, we'll see what that will be. I have one more section for you guys. I found a couple of cool toys, gadgety things for the automotive world. I'll show you those and then you wrap it up.
Cool.
Okay.
All right.
The first one is the Jetson One, which is your first personal aircraft that you can buy. You can actually buy it. The founder of Oculus is the first one who just took ownership of it, and $120,000 US dollars. You don't need a pilot's license.
This is a one-seater drone.
That is a one-seater drone with you in it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Oh, that's just
I would have way
wrong
too much
here.
fun with
What
that.
could go wrong here?
So you would hop into it?
I would 100% ride that.
Well, if you're going to be in one, I don't want to be in one. But if I was the only one,
What are you trying to say?
Designed by Ian Callum. It's one of those
simulator.
simulators.
I love
We're all going to have those in our houses soon, you know. And sim racing has taken so many big steps. And sim racers can step out of, they've never driven a race car, and they can go directly from sim racing into real race cars immediately.
And I think even the Formula One drivers, they're all trained these days on a simulator, right?
Oh, yes, yes.
I mean, this one is
This one, it's like a little more emphasis on style than maybe function.
So this one is just stationary. Nothing is moving in there.
You would think it's got to have some sort of movement on it. I think your wife is going to be more opposed to having something like that rather than that seat with the frame that you've welded in the garage with the thing that's shaking and scratching up the floors. I think from
Talking about simulator or simulator?
What is got in your garage?
when you build your Sims, I don't know. It's more elegant for, say, you could see that in the living room rather than being shoved in the
A
basement.
little too much of styling rather than function.
Yeah.
With the simulator, you really want that feedback.
Also comes with a bit of a price tag, $46,000 US.
Yeah, so you can't take the old bucket seat out of the old car.
Next up, a coffee maker.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. And it's not just a coffee maker. Grappa too.
Grappa maker?
Not a makeup, it fills you that sort of grappa if you want. So you can get it as either a V8, V10, or V12 engine. And
This one we're looking at is the V10. So next year it's going to be a twin turbo V8.
The hybrid attached to
Attachment. Yeah.
interesting about this one, it uses those capsules,
Oh, yeah.
which is almost a little bit disappointing.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, that's what it is these days. And I think one of those would give you your favorite grappa. 16,000 US. I think it's worth it.
I think we need one of those here at West Coast.
I think we do.
Yeah.
I think we do.
You definitely.
If there's going to be one of those sold in Canada, it should be to us.
I agree.
Yeah.
How about this one? It's the Lamborghini, so official Lamborghini underwater scooter.
Underwater?
Like, so fun. For those of you who can't afford the real Lamborghini, you can at least go fast underwater and nobody's gonna see you, so you're good. And those goggles too.
What's the definition of fast underwater?
Well, you dive with it. It goes up to 25 meters. It's up to 35 kilometers an hour underwater.
There's no way I'm hanging on to that 25 meters deep. I'm at the bottom of the bottom of English Bay and a Lamborghini.
I'd pay probably half that to see you do that. So
This is a flop, I think.
That's a flop?
It's a flop.
I think we need.
I don't think Lamborghini brings anything to the Sea-Doo table.
I like it.
I like it. We're getting one. We're gonna get it for you, Dave.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was it.
Amazing.
We came to the end of the...
Well, as a host of the episode, thank you very much for coming to West Coast Streaming.
You just want to get rid of it now.
Yeah. No, great
Beer.
Great spotlight.